Some lawmakers are leading a push to bring a nationwide movement to the Lone Star State, and it could add protections for the planet to the Texas Constitution. A handful of states have added so-called green amendments to their state constitutions. Among other things, it would protect Texans' right to clean air and water. Senior science reporter Erik Henrikson takes a closer look.
Could the Bill of Rights in Texas soon see a change?
We all know we depend on clean water and clean air to survive, to thrive for our very lives.
Maya Van Rossum is leading the charge, pushing for a new green amendment to be added to the state constitution.
Because of that Bill of Rights placement and the careful choice of language, it lifts up environmental rights.
It's part of a nationwide movement to add green amendments to every state constitution.
They're all just plain, clear statements about these environmental essentials of life and that they need to be recognized and protected at that constitutional level.
It's actually a very short amendment, and it basically says that current Texans have the right to clean air, clean water, healthy soil, fauna, etc.
State Representative Vicki Goodwin, who represents Travis County, drafted her own version of the Green Amendment last session. She says it did not get a hearing, but she's hoping to build momentum ahead of the next session in January.
I've had a little bit more time to let people know what it is we're trying to accomplish with it, and we've gotten some groups that are getting behind it.
Representative Goodwin says the amendment could give Texans extra bite when protecting their land, giving them additional avenues for legal action.
If the state agency isn't penalizing a company for polluting a waterway, for example, an individual could say, well, you're going against my constitutional right to a clean river.
Van Rossum says this has been the case in several other states. Currently, Montana, Pennsylvania, and New York have green amendments in their constitutions. 18 other states have proposed the amendment.
It would be great if Texas was on the leading edge of this environmental movement, but it may take some time.
Erik Henrikson, State of Texas.
After almost every legislative session, lawmakers ask Texas voters to consider adding amendments, but passing an amendment is not easy in Texas. First, the legislature needs to pass a joint resolution to put the issue before voters. It requires a 2/3 vote in both chambers. That's at least 100 members from the Texas House and 21 from the Senate. Then a majority of Texas voters have to approve the amendment in an election. You may remember last year's constitutional amendment election in Texas. Voters passed 13 propositions. That included a proposition to lower property taxes. Voters also approved an amendment to provide retired teachers with cost of living increases, as well as measures to create funds investing in broadband, water infrastructure, and state parks. A measure to raise the mandatory retirement age for judges failed to pass. But voters did pass 13 out of 14 propositions, continuing a historical trend where most amendments get approved. Since 1876, lawmakers have put 711 proposed constitutional amendments on the ballot. Texas voters approved 530 of them, meaning nearly 75% became part of the Texas Constitution. You heard from Representative Vicki Goodwin in Erik's story, and you could be hearing more from her in the future. Earlier this year, she told us she's considering a run for lieutenant governor.
I am considering running for lieutenant governor. I think the state needs better leadership, and I haven't been too quiet about that, but the gun issue is one, gun safety. You know, we have so many people in the state of Texas saying that we need some gun safety laws to be passed. We had a couple of good bills that passed the House. The lieutenant governor wouldn't let them pass the Senate, so that's certainly one of the considerations for me running for that position.
Goodwin also listed support for public schools and her opposition to voucher plans as incentive for a potential run for lieutenant governor in 2026. For now, though, Goodwin is facing Republican Scott Fursing in the November election for the District 47 Texas House seat. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Josh Hinkle, and we'll be back next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.